a big debate. How loose do we want people's contribution to be able to be? And in those days, in 2005, we were so pro-taxonomy and so democratic in our thinking, and couldn't anticipate that we'd have 350 million points of interest about how much somebody likes bubblegum, and what a disadvantage that could become. So what we've done since then is taken these tags, created some clusters of terminologies, and created user-driven categories from that. And then the categories become semi-stable until the next time that we clustered them up. And so for Paris, what we decided to do, and there's some curation in this as well, it's not completely algorithmic, and this is a departure for us. But together with the user community, ourselves, and a couple people at National Geographic, we took a look at the categories that were there. We took a look at the data that they had and what was most interesting for their readers based on what they knew. And we came up with 25 categories. And we're going to probably have 25 categories for every city. But 5 are going to be staples, and they're the obvious ones, food and drink and that kind of thing. But then for Paris, for example, what's interesting is noir and radical and notorious. What'd you say?
Pickpockets.
Pickpockets and literary. And these are the specific categories that make a city interesting and unique. And we're trying to really go in that direction as well. And now I'll hand it over to Jason.
Not sure if I have a lot to add. It's yeah, I guess I can talk. I put it on here as well.
And then we can take questions. We're right now in the process of synthesizing all of this ourselves as well. So we're not coming at this as experts. Actually, we're incredibly humbled by this entire process. But we have a lot of learnings. We've been iterating on this for a long time.
You can tell that I'm a designer. No, I just threw this together. I didn't know if I was going to get my little demo finished or not. But even though, okay, so everybody who was either interested in maps or interested in mobile kind of had this, a couple years ago, man, once location awareness is here, that's that's the main hurdle, and everything will fall into place, and everybody will be doing everything, and every device will be aware, and every app will be connected, and people will be able to find and do and record their lives, and everything will be great. But that milestone came and went, and it's still, just the few dedicated, what you might call the Neanderthals, the ones who are wandering around the street doing this, who are actually contributing, who are actually taking the time to stop what they're doing and find something nearby instead of kind of rely on their old standbys. And so I'm trying to think about how to make those actions, those little contributions or little aggregations of data more smooth, more transparent, more automatic. One of them is just accumulation. If instead of stopping to type out wow, this is a great view, just that if you could somehow with one little gesture of your thumb leave that mark for later commentary. You get home at the end of the day, and okay, you've got the 5 marks on your map that show up and said, hey, these were the places that you thought were cool. Now do you want to finally say something about it? Now that you're in front of a computer, in front of a keyboard, and you have some time. Maybe automatically syncing your photos up. But this notion of accumulation and then kind of fill in the main gaps later. I think I got these out of the way. Automation is kind of like accumulation, but I think there's also this dream that Android's going to be fulfilling on a lot more than the iPhone, of this kind of background thing where it can know where you are all the time, even if something's not on, and kind of let you know, hey, this is the restaurant where your best friend got married, or met his wife, or where your best friend says that you should stop and try something. So automation is interesting. further integration. This is not so much about making things easier, but these are just some little notes about where location is going to go with mobile. Time, and not just like an event today, but really specifically what time of day, if you're looking for something, if it knows your habits. Games are going to be fun, and deep history is just about, like you were saying, the map that has like more equal or higher resolution than reality. If you throw history into that mix, it can like significantly transcend the amount of data that's just here right now. So, being able to sit around and say, what's the history of this office space? What's the history of this building before it was redeveloped? What's the history of this plot of land before this building was here? To kind of dig back into time, I think is pretty significant. Part of what I keep bumping into, and with some little tests that I end up doing, is finding out that micro context is pretty important. So basically that it's, when we first built nearby, we thought, we're gonna really, really limit ourselves. We learned from the web that our website was too complex and that we tried to do everything. So this mobile app, we're barely gonna do anything. We're just gonna show all kinds of stuff and let you type in and let you sit, We ended up simplifying, but not anywhere near what we could have done or maybe should have done. And then I think when you have an application that is already has the micro context predefined, then you have an ability to take out so many steps in either getting information out of it or putting information in. This is going to lead to an example of something that I just threw together today that has that. And basically it's this. If any of you guys have the new 3.0 Safari on your iPhones, this thing will work, but also if you have location-aware browser on your laptop.
If you do it online, you can pass it around.
But it's basically that it just shows you photos of street art and graffiti right around where you are, and so wherever you are, you've got this. It could be contextualized to anything, any interest. Let me pass this. Just type in up there. It's incredibly simple. It's just like a grid of photos that you can look at. But this idea that whether it's these ones are from Flickr. This first one. Basically, we've been working for quite a while on a native app called Street Art that has the browsing, but also the contribution and a rating system. So it's really pared down to just three things. You can give, you can take, and you can judge. And that one, it actually pulls from Platial data and Flickr data, and then when the ratings go in, it influences what comes back later on, for every query after that. But this one is just like, my sketch using the Flickr thing today. But, literally the first one, you can see this building in the background, you can see the yellow building, and it's pretty cool when you have a context that you care about, and it's something as simple as one button. That's about it.
How much does the resolution acuity, granularity of I'm here versus 4 feet over here, how much is that still a problem in really getting down to I'm in an art museum. I love it as I walk up to the next painting, the Wikipedia entry comes right up.
It's still a problem.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
And there are, Department of Defense type applications that are being unveiled that have much more fine-grained data, but a year or two out probably.
So should app developers be thinking about